$13 billion. That's what the Navy spent on a single aircraft carrier, more than the GDP of some nations. But here's what nobody talks about. How do the 5,000 sailors living on this floating fortress actually get paid? How do they buy a coffee, send money to their kids back home, or even check their bank account when they're 300 miles from the nearest Ethernet tower? The system isn't what you'd expect. No cash registers, no ATMs, no walking into a bank branch. Instead, it's a financial machine as complex as the warship itself. Part military payroll, part isolated economy, part digital laboratory for the future of money. And it's about to change in ways that sound like science fiction. Picture this. You're one of 5,000 people living on what's essentially a steel city, 1,100 feet long, 20 stories tall, nuclear-powered. You work 12-hour shifts, sometimes longer. You haven't touched land in 47 days. Your bunk is 6 feet from the ceiling, and you share a bathroom with 70 other people. Now try managing your finances. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the Navy's newest carrier, operates as a self-contained civilization. It has its own post office, its own hospital, its own everything. But unlike any city on Earth, it can't just plug into the global financial system. No local bank branch, no corner store that takes Visa. When you're underway for 6 months, the normal rules of money simply don't apply. This creates a fascinating problem. These sailors aren't volunteers working for room and board. They're professionals earning competitive salaries, many with families, mortgages, car payments back home. The junior enlisted airman changing oil in an F-18 might be 22 years old, earning his first real paycheck. The senior chief managing the flight deck could be supporting 3 kids through college. All of them need to get paid, accurately, on time, every 2 weeks. But there's more. They also need to spend money while deployed. Toiletries, snacks, phone cards to call home during rare port visits. They need to pay bills that can't wait 6 months. They need to send money to spouses who are managing households alone. They need to save, invest, plan for the future. The Navy's solution? A parallel financial universe that most civilians never see. It's part direct deposit, part onboard credit system, part logistical miracle. The infrastructure required to make it work involves satellite communications, encrypted transactions, international banking protocols, and old-fashioned military discipline. And here's what makes it urgent. Experts predict this entire system is about to undergo its biggest transformation since the Navy stopped paying sailors in cash decades ago. Artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, digital wallets, real-time apps that track every dollar. The future of military pay is being designed right now, on these carriers, for these sailors. But before we can understand where it's going, we need to understand how it works today. Because the foundation isn't just numbers in a database. It's a carefully calibrated structure that compensates sailors not just for their time, but for the unique sacrifices naval service demands. Let's start with what most people understand: base pay. Every sailor earns a base salary determined by 2 factors: rank and time in service. An E3 seaman with 2 years in makes roughly $25,000 annually. A lieutenant commander with 12 years, around $85,000. It's standardized, transparent. The same whether you're stationed in San Diego or sailing through the South China Sea. But base pay is only the beginning. What separates military compensation from civilian jobs is the allowance system. And this is where it gets interesting. Allowances aren't bonuses or perks. They're calculated payments designed to offset specific costs that come with military service. And here's the key detail. Most allowances are tax-free. That changes the math significantly. The first major allowance is BAS, Basic Allowance for Subsistence. It's meant to cover food costs, currently around $400 per month for enlisted, about $300 for officers. Now, when you're on a carrier, the ship provides all your meals, 3 hot meals a day, prepared by Navy culinary specialists. So BS might seem unnecessary, but sailors still receive it. Why? Because when they're on leave or during shore duty assignments, they need to eat. The allowance maintains consistency across their entire career, regardless of where they're stationed. Then there's batch, Basic Allowance for Housing. This is where the real money lives. Batch varies wildly based on location and whether you have dependents. A married sailor whose family lives in San Diego could receive over $2,000 monthly just for housing. An unmarried sailor in a cheaper area might get $800. When you're deployed on a carrier, you don't pay rent. Your rack is provided. But if you have a spouse and kids back home paying a mortgage, BH keeps coming. Now we get to the deployment-specific allowances. CPay, officially called Career CPay, is extra compensation for time spent underway. It ranges from $50 to $730 per month, depending on rank and cumulative sea time. If you've spent years of your life on ships, the Navy pays you more for each subsequent deployment. Then there's hazardous duty pay, flight deck crew launching and recovering aircraft, where one mistake can kill you. Earn an extra $225 monthly. Sailors handling ordnance, working in confined spaces, or performing other high-risk jobs also qualify. Some roles get even more specialized compensation. Submarine duty pay, dive pay, parachute duty. The Navy has calculated a dollar value for nearly every dangerous thing it asks sailors to do. Add it all together, base pay, BAS, BAP, CPay, specialty pay, and you're looking at total compensation that can be 30 to 50% higher than base salary alone. For a mid-career enlisted sailor deployed on a carrier, that might mean bringing home $4,000 to $5,000 monthly after taxes. But here's the catch that leads us into the next challenge. All that money is getting deposited into bank accounts these sailors can't easily access. They're earning well, but spending and managing that money from the middle of the ocean. That's where the system gets complicated. Imagine this scenario. You just received your paycheck. 2 weeks of pay, direct deposited to your account back in the States. You want to check your balance, transfer some money to your spouse, pay your credit card bill that's due in 3 days, and maybe buy some shampoo because you're down to your last bottle. You're also somewhere in the Philippine Sea with internet connectivity that makes dial-up look fast. This is the daily financial reality for carrier sailors, and it creates problems that no amount of pay can solve by itself. Start with basic banking. Most carriers have limited internet access for personal use, maybe 30 minutes a day, access through a ship's modem system that's slower than your phone was in 2008. You're competing with 4,000 other people trying to check email, call home, and yes, manage their finances. Time zones don't help. When you're 12 hours ahead of your bank's customer service line and you have a 30-minute window to resolve a problem, good luck. Sailors regularly miss payment deadlines not because they lack funds, but because they couldn't physically access their accounts in time. Then there's the human cost. Many sailors are young, first job, first real money, first time managing finances independently. They're also away from financial advisors, family members who might help, or even the ability to visit a bank branch. Financial mistakes happen, overdraft fees pile up, credit card interest accumulates, all while they're working 12-hour days with no ability to course correct until the next port visit. But the Navy isn't blind to this. Current solutions start with direct deposit, mandatory for nearly all personnel. Paychecks hit accounts automatically every 1st and 15th of the month. Sailors can set up allotments before deployment, automatically routing money to specific accounts. Send $600 to your spouse's checking, $500 to savings, $300 to your car payment. It's pre-programmed financial discipline. For onboard spending, carriers operate a miniature retail economy. The Navy Exchange, the NEX, is basically a floating Walmart. Candy, electronics, toiletries, Navy-branded gear. Sailors don't use cash. Instead, they swipe military ID cards connected to their accounts. Every purchase is tracked, debited electronically. The ship also has a barber shop, a small gym store, even a mini coffee shop on some carriers. All cashless. This solves the immediate spending problem, but creates a new one, limited selection. Forgot to buy something before deployment? Hope the next carries it. Want a specific brand of anything? Take what's stocked or go without. Financial counseling exists, but it's stretched thin. One financial specialist might serve an entire ship's crew. Sailors can schedule appointments, attend workshops during port visits, or access online resources when internet permits. The most challenging aspect? Supporting families remotely. Spouses back home are managing households alone, often dealing with their own employment challenges because military families move frequently. If a financial emergency hits, car breaks down, medical expense, sudden home repair. Communication delays can turn small problems into crises. A sailor might not even learn about the issue until days later. Some sailors solve this by giving spouses full account access. Others set up detailed budgets before deploying and hope nothing changes. Many simply accept a level of financial stress as part of the job. But there's a better way coming, and it starts with technology that sounds almost too advanced to be real. The next generation of carrier financial systems is already being designed, and it looks nothing like what we just described. First, artificial intelligence handling pay calculations. Right now, Navy pay specialists manually process thousands of calculations, base pay adjustments, allowance changes, specialty pay qualifications, tax withholdings. Human error happens. A sailor gets underpaid or overpaid, and it takes weeks to resolve because the correction requires another human to process paperwork. AI integration changes everything. Experts predict systems that automatically calculate pay based on real-time duty assignments. You get transferred from sea duty to shore duty, the AI instantly adjusts your sea pay, recalculates your allowances, updates your tax withholding. You qualify for a new specialty pay, the system detects it from your personnel file and adds it to your next paycheck. No paperwork, no waiting, no errors caused by a tired pay specialist at 2 a.m. processing their 300th form. The predicted speed increase is dramatic. What takes 3 weeks today could happen in 3 seconds. More importantly, sailors would have real-time transparency. Check your phone app, see exactly what you're earning right now, down to the hour. But that's just payroll. The really radical change is how sailors will spend money overseas. Cryptocurrency allowances for port visits. Here's why this matters. When a carrier pulls into Tokyo, sailors have shore leave. A few hours to explore, eat at real restaurants, buy gifts for family. Currently, they need to exchange dollars for yen, dealing with conversion rates and fees. Credit cards work, but charge foreign transaction fees. It's expensive and slow. Cryptocurrency solves that instantly. Imagine receiving part of your allowance as a digital currency accepted globally. You walk into a restaurant in Japan and pay with a tap of your phone. No exchange rate, no foreign transaction fee, no waiting for authorization to clear through international banking networks. The blockchain makes it secure. The military controls the wallet infrastructure. Sailors get the freedom to spend without the friction of traditional banking in foreign countries. Then there's real-time financial tracking apps. The prediction: every sailor carries a phone app that shows current balance, upcoming pay, scheduled allotments, spending history, updated in real time even while underway. You buy something at the NEX, it appears instantly. Your paycheck hits, you get a notification within seconds. This isn't just convenience, it's psychological. Financial stress often comes from uncertainty. You don't know your exact balance. You're not sure if that bill payment went through. You lost track of how much you've spent this week. Real-time tracking eliminates that anxiety. The apps would also include budgeting tools, savings goal trackers, even AI-powered financial advisors that alert you before you overspend. You're about to go negative on Thursday unless you adjust your spending. That kind of proactive guidance. All of this depends on one foundational shift: digital wallets. Instead of carrying a physical ID card that just unlocks doors and buys things at the NEX, sailors would have comprehensive digital wallets on their phones. Bank accounts, cryptocurrency, allotment schedules, pay stubs, tax documents, everything in one encrypted military-grade secure app. Transactions become touchless, security becomes biometric, financial literacy becomes automated. It sounds like science fiction, but the technology exists today. The question isn't, can the Navy do this? It's how fast can they roll it out, and what do sailors need to prepare? Because this transformation brings new risks. The future financial system is more efficient, more transparent, more user-friendly, but it's also more vulnerable. Cybersecurity becomes the new financial literacy. Right now, if someone steals your wallet, you lose whatever cash you were carrying. If someone steals your digital wallet, the one containing your pay, your crypto allowances, your bank access, they could drain your entire financial life in minutes. Enhanced cybersecurity training isn't optional, it's critical. Sailors will need to understand password hygiene, two-factor authentication, phishing attempts, social engineering attacks. They'll need to know how to secure their devices, recognize suspicious activity, and respond to potential breaches. The Navy's already developing training modules, but individual sailors must take it seriously. One compromised phone could affect not just that sailor, but potentially the entire ship's financial network if attackers exploit the connection. Then there's the learning curve. Not every sailor is tech-savvy. Many come from backgrounds where even basic online banking was new. Throw in cryptocurrency, AI-powered apps, and digital wallets, and you're asking for a steep adaptation. The Navy will need robust training programs, not just one-time briefings, but ongoing education as systems evolve. Financial literacy must evolve too. Understanding traditional banking isn't enough anymore. Sailors need to comprehend how cryptocurrency works, what affects its value, how to secure digital assets, when to use which payment method. They need to understand app-based budgeting, automated allotments, and real-time financial tracking. This is especially important for young enlisted sailors who might be managing significant money for the first time while simultaneously learning cutting-edge financial technologies that most civilians haven't adopted yet. The Navy's role in this transformation is massive. Infrastructure must come first. Reliable, high-speed internet access on every ship, satellite communication upgrades, robust servers that can handle thousands of simultaneous transactions, partnerships with financial technology companies who understand both banking and military security. They'll also need redundancy systems. What happens if the digital wallet system goes down mid-deployment? Sailors still need to eat, still need to function. The Navy can't eliminate traditional backup systems until the new technology proves absolutely reliable. For sailors preparing now, the advice is straightforward. Embrace digital tools. Start using banking apps, financial tracking software, anything that builds comfort with app-based money management. Prioritize cybersecurity education. Take every training the Navy offers and seek out more on your own. Understand that adaptability is now a job skill, not just a personality trait. For those considering naval service, know this: you'll be learning financial technologies that could make you more financially literate than 90% of civilians. The skills you develop managing money on a carrier, digital fluency, cybersecurity awareness, remote financial management transfer directly to high-paying civilian careers. The $13 billion aircraft carrier is becoming more than a warship. It's a laboratory for the future of military finance. And the sailors serving on it aren't just defending the nation, they're beta testing the financial systems that could reshape how all of us earn, save, and spend in the decades to come. The money system is evolving. The sailors are ready.